I'm Matt. I'm a fractional CTO, and I love technology. I've been doing this for a quarter of a century, and I love helping companies save $250,000 to $500,000 a year through technology initiatives. A lot of that savings comes from people they don't have to hire, and it helps their employees do more meaningful work. Think of AI. AI right now, it helps us do more meaningful work because we don't have to do the mundane stuff. AI will take care of it for us. So let's have tech help us out. The first step is to identify. We first need to see what is out there and what are our risks. The highest risk, for instance, if your PCI compliance is a little lacking, a previous client, they stored all their credit card information in a spreadsheet and they ran it every month. I tried to tell this person that they shouldn't be doing that, but here they are. They're probably still doing the exact same thing. That would be a high risk. That would be a top priority. We're going to fix this today. Starting on fixing that risk is going to be very valuable to the company because it can limit or mitigate the risk from a bad actor taking advantage of that information. So when you're building a new system, you'd want to have those things in mind. For smaller companies, they'll use the third-party provider like Shopify, or they'll use plugins for their content management system that will enable credit card payments. That's fine. That's great. But if you're building something custom, then you need to have PCI compliance in mind when you do that. It doesn't take much more time to develop something custom that's secure than it does to develop something that's insecure. Just think about that. It's more about choices and decisions than time. The second thing is to make smart technology and architecture choices. We want to maximize our budget, so we need to decide what's going to maximize our budget and get us to the finish line quickest. Use modern platforms. Azure and AWS are the two main ones. I know GCP, Google Cloud Platform is up and coming, so that's also another option. And if you implement it right, you can reduce your costs a little bit versus implementing it incorrectly, which will inflate your tech spend per month. You need to choose secure cross-platform tools and technologies. For instance, on the back end, we always use .NET Core. We run on a Linux container. We do serverless. And then another option is Node.js to do the same thing. And then the front end, React or Angular, it just depends on the project. Sometimes Ionic is a good way to go for cross-platform mobile and web applications. React Native is also a good one. Next, you'll also want to implement a CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD is continuous integration and continuous deployment. Every software project that we run, that's one of the first things we get in place. So we have 3 environments. We have dev, stage, and production, and we get the CI/CD going for each of those environments. When we push code up to dev or stage, automatically gets deployed. Production branch, we want to maintain control over the deployment, so we do that manually. It makes everyone's life so much easier. The client loves it because they can see incremental progress. The team loves it because they know they always have the latest software up and running. Another option when you're building stuff is to use open source software. In the .NET world, there's NuGet packages. In the JavaScript world, there's NPM, Node Package Manager. Use a library that's got a lot of activity, a lot of updates, and then you'll maintain security just by using something that someone else will take care of the security risks for you. Third step is the money. How do you manage the project? Leverage, project management tools. Try to tie the item down to a budget. Sometimes that's really difficult to do, especially on a big or long-running project. I've worked on projects where people want to have a budget for every single story in the sprint. That's not very feasible because it slows everyone down. And then what about cross-functional people that like QA and project management? It just gets to be very challenging. Another way you can do that is you can take the monthly invoice and then the number of story points that it has and kind of associate a budget with that. But I think it's better to work at it as a holistic approach. One way we do that is we will fund the project for a specific number of months, and we'll get as much as we've done in that time period. And that gives the client flexibility to be able to ramp up or ramp down depending on what's going on with the project. For instance, if we have a 6-month project and 3 months in, we're looking like we're a little behind, we can say, all right, well, we can either reduce features or we can increase the number of months we're going to do, and we can make a decision then. Another piece of this is automating the security audits and monitoring incidents that are reported. By AWS and Azure, they both have that kind of stuff in place, so you can monitor any DDoS potential attacks and things of that nature. And the cost of not building secure environments is 6 figures easy. I had one client who, their previous client, they were hacked twice in less than a month. And the first time it probably cost them $125,000 to $150,000. And the second time it cost them a little bit less. So they're up to about $250,000 in time spent on consultants to get their system back up and running. Everything was wiped or locked down. They couldn't access their servers, so they had to rebuild them from scratch. With all of our systems, if that happens, we can rebuild in a click of a button. And the reason that happened was an unpatched server. So where we're using things like Docker containers or serverless, that's automatically done in the background. It's updated all the time. So here's a quick recap. When you're building secure systems, it's all about prioritizing and budgeting. You're making smart tech choices. You're using automation. You're using open source software. You're trying to maximize every dollar you spend by doing as little as possible and getting the greatest result. I encourage you not to cut corners when it comes to security. You don't need to. In today's day and age, there's a lot of different things out there that could help you write secure projects, write secure code, and develop good software and deliver good projects and products in a secure manner. If you're still confused, overwhelmed, any of the above, book a call with me in the link in the description. I'd love to help you out. As always, feel free to share the video, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.